This is Tim Rogers, the Dodgers 2080. That's Tim Rogers, as in it rhymes with your L.A. Dodgers. I got my guy Alex being able to come back, and it's been a while since I've had him on. We're going to just cover a whole lot of stuff that's happened so far, because Alex and I really haven't chatted since before all the fun happened. Alex,
did I miss anything?
What's happening, man?
Nothing much. Did I miss anything? Slow off season or what?
Oh my goodness!
A few transactions, right?
Is before just kind of a little show prep. I did. I just kind of said who's out, who's in, and then still pending. Right. There's I'll go real quick through the who's out, and then we'll just start talking about all these guys, because some of them are tied together, right? So who's out? Yeah. Lance Lynn, Julio Urias, JD Martinez, Yorbit Vivas, Victor Gonzalez, Johnny DeLuca, Ryan Pepio, Brian Hudson, Michael Busch, Yancy Almonte. That's a lot of people. Who's in? Gavin Lux. I'm including him because he's healthy. Yeah. Jason Hayward, Joe Kelly and Jason Hayward came back. Then Trey Sweeney, Shohei Ohtani, I think you heard of him, Tyler Glasnow, Manny Margot, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Justin Chambers, Jackson Ferris, Zaire Hope, Teoscar Hernandez, and I didn't include another guy coming back, hopefully, is Walker F. and Bueller. And then still pending, Kiki Hernandez, and, of course, the great Clayton Kershaw. Yeah. That's a lot, dude. Think about that.
A lot going on, right? That's a whole new squad. That's literally like a whole new 25.
Yeah.
And do we know if Hudson's out for indefinitely, or is he maybe coming back? Or
who's that?
Hudson?
No, Brian. Oh, Daniel. I forgot Daniel Hudson. Yeah, he re-signed too. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. Brian. Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, so there's Brian Hudson, who they let go to the Brewers and got that was it Justin Chambers was his name? Yeah, he was a high school guy out of Arizona that had Tommy John. Just insane. My camera's off?
No, I see you.
Oh, man.
I see you.
I hope so. Sal's saying it's off. Okay. Let's see. So, going back.
Yeah, we're back,
So, we're in October, and the Dodgers, of course, have lost everything. We all hate them. We're ready to fire everybody. At least I was. And then it got a little weird. Let's just say that. So do you recall what you were doing that Friday when Shohei Ohtani was allegedly on a plane?
Flying to Toronto?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I've been through enough free agencies to know that nothing's done until it's done. Even like these insiders. So I was hoping, I was kind of ignoring it. I saw the J-Hay his plea to sign. So I stayed positive. Obviously it didn't make sense to me at Toronto. If you wanted to win consistently, I think LA is probably the best spot for him. So I was not checking in at that point from my own sanity.
Yeah. Well, you were the smart one, because it obviously got a little crazy. Some reputations ruined and all that type of stuff from
which happens every offseason, right?
Oh my gosh. And then the next day, all of a sudden, it's like he's a Dodger, man. Shohei Ohtani.
That's the news I wanted to hear. So that's when I started checking in.
Yeah. And then at the same time that was going on, there was the rumors about Ryan Pepio going for Tyler Glasnow.
Right. Actually, You know what? Did it happen before or after?
The rumors started before. Is what happened. So what's the guy Bruce Kuntz from Dodgers Digest, actually, he had the trade. He had to trade him and another guy.
Yeah.
And then to be honest, I initially didn't like it. I was like, wait a minute. We're giving up 5 years of Pepio for one guy, or for 1 year of Glasnow?
Yeah. I thought I knew more than the front office at that point, but
yeah.
But But then actually, I saw an interview pretty close after I think it was MLB Network where then he started saying how his Tommy John, they actually attached the bone or the ligament wrong. So
Yeah.
he pitched the last, I think, 2 years in like extreme amounts of pain. And then they, and then he redid the surgery, and I think now he says it's like it's what it should have been. So he knows it's, and then that's when I was like, okay, why did I doubt Andrew Friedman? Why would I do that?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Then it's a no-brainer. Then you have a top fly guy with no arm. I mean, he was already dominating. I mean, he had stretches of dominance, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he did, because after the surgery, I think there was his last 10 starts, he was like 3.1 ERA. He's always been a high strikeout guy.
Yeah.
Now his arm is limber and healthy, doesn't hurt. I mean,
attached.
I think he's an actual 1A, 2A pitcher.
Yeah, that's the hope,
Legit.
right? Yeah.
I mean, if he can go 2 years with the misplaced Tommy John and still bear it out, it's a tough guy.
Mm.
So I would say, I think it's a good gamble. Obviously, it's not cheap to get, like frontline starters, but to give up Ryan Pepio for the chance to have one, I mean, I'm a prospect hugger, so I mean that always hurts. But
I know.
I would say it's probably best case scenario. I mean, that if you're going to give up prospects, you give it up for high end talent, top. That's what you do, right?
Right. I mean, and that, I'm with you, because I mean, I got a good relationship with Pepio and everything, and
he was dealing. I mean, he looked pretty good. So Rays, I mean, smart right. Obviously they want to get below payroll, or their payroll is set at not the Dodgers. So
they like to run a little bit lower than the Dodgers.
A little bit, slightly.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because when because I was still against the trade, and I was at the press conference for Shohei.
Nice. Oh, nice.
And afterwards, I was hanging with Doug McCain and then Michael Duarte, and I see on my phone all of a sudden about the Glasnow extension. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, guys, check it out.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. And what had happened, I remember JP Hoornstra, he went trying to track Andrew Friedman down. He must have looked at it first, and he didn't say anything. And went, and then then it's like, oh, that's what's going on is that. So right as they're making the Ohtani thing official, they're in the middle of getting Glasnow, at least getting that thing to have it became contingent on the contract extension.
Right. Which is smart, right? I mean, you're giving up 5 years of basically league minimum.
Yeah.
Might as well sign them,
And like you said, and then you remember, don't doubt Andrew Friedman.
Yeah, Friedman we trust.
The man is good at his job. We could all hope to be that good at our job.
We really need a statue and the Friedman Lane or Friedman Way or something like
that. Two world championships, and we'll get it. 2 more world championships, and he'll get that.
He kind of already did, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm just the way he's set up. I mean, championships are obviously, it's what Dodgers are going to be based off of, but just the way he's constructed the lineup for literally the past decade plus, every year have a chance, which is wild.
It is,
because we would be disappointed if we didn't think the Dodgers actually had a chance to win.
Right?
It's not like we're happy to be there.
Yeah, we're pissed off when they don't win the World Series
every single year, and that's the expectation level.
No, I agree.
Fan, but
I agree. I remember I was hoping, of course, just being silly in a way, but I was hoping that they'd announce Yamamoto at that press conference for Shohei, but I didn't get that. Yeah. But we did get the Glasnow thing, and then then they made the little trade with Yorbit Vivas and Victor Gonzalez for that Trey Sweeney guy, which is that was the clearest roster
really didn't
spot.
like seeing I mean, I understand it. I mean, we have our shortstop is very thin at the upper levels. I like Vivas, but I mean, you can't keep them all. You just can't. We have too many. And we got to keep the best ones. I get that, but it's just Vivas. I like Vivas. I think he was always a sleeper. But Mookie at second base. I mean, where are you going to play really?
No, that's exactly right. I
What are you
mean,
gonna do? And they probably
yeah.
knew at that point that moving forward it was going to be Mookie. They probably
Yeah, I think
we know now, but they knew it at that point. So there's no like, there's
yeah,
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up Mookie not even playing outfield hardly at all this next year. It's what it sounds like.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like
Yeah.
in order to keep his body kind of fresh, and I mean, obviously they like what they saw, and
Right.
I mean, automatically he's the best hitting second baseman by far. So,
Right.
You know, you can probably find. I mean, I would say equivalent, but it's easier to find offense in right field than at second base at the level that he's at. So, I think it's easy. I think it's an easier fill at right field than a star hitting second baseman, which I would assume he also plays outstanding defense, because I don't think the Dodgers don't really they don't really skimp out on defense. I've noticed it's always you're either at least average to above, or
Except third
Max
base.
Muncy's maybe the exception, but
Yeah, exactly. I just said except
but he's
base.
also hitting 40 home runs for like $8.5 million. So
Yeah, he's a real deal. I mean, in terms of price and everything.
Yeah.
And then, then a little bit later, all of a sudden, I was watching Clint Pasillas do his show, and all of a sudden the Yamamoto stuff started to hit. So I'm texting Clint as he's on the show going, okay, Bowden said it. Now it's, say, I can't remember, it was Heyman. And it was like, oh,
I always think with a grain of salt. So, but
yeah, then Passan said
everyone starts throwing it in. I'm like, all right.
But he was live when that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, then you hear the money. It's like, wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence, just because it's not really his stuff; it's the size. But again,
that's true.
But again, I mean, he was what, 5'10", right? 5'11" on a good day.
Yeah, 5'10", 5'11", yeah.
But I mean, it's you gotta just trust the front office. I mean, they're not gonna be amazing at everything and just really bad at like just miss the ball, because they don't give 10-year contracts or 12-year contracts to anybody.
I know.
So I've known that his fastball is obviously special, is different, even at at 5'10". Obviously, his other stuff plays up. His pedigree at 25 is probably like you can't get a better pedigree from any pitcher in Japan. What he's done last 3 or even year is just
it's insane.
And he probably has really clean arm action that made them feel comfortable to do 12, or maybe it was the market.
Remember, there's even some weird contract stipulations. If he misses certain amounts of time with elbow surgery or elbow injuries.
Was that in the contract? I didn't.
Yeah, it's in the contract. So there's some weird stuff in there.
There's some opt-out too language, right? Isn't that after 5 years or no?
Yeah, there is, and some of that is related to those arm issues.
Got you.
So I mean, the Dodgers have shown that they're willing to do crazy things with contracts.
But I also think the annual, the AAV for that, it's a clearable. It's going to be what, 27 on average.
That was it, yeah.
If he's a number a really good 3, that's kind of 20. Like on the open market, you're kind of a really high 2. Or if he plays up to, if he reaches his max, obviously it's going to be a sweet deal. It's going to be like a Kenta Maeda type of deal,
right? Well, yeah.
And he may not have to obviously do his absolute best for them to get value out of that contract. 27 million in like 5-6 years is not going to be that much. That's going to be like a number 3 starter.
Yeah. Well, and with inflation,
exactly.
Number 3 starters going to be making 30 million. Coming up in a few years.
Not even top of the line. Yeah. So that's why you pay up front maybe more, but in the long run, 27 million. Obviously it's ridiculous money, but.
Yeah,
major league for that, for supply and demand. It's in 4 or 5 years. I mean, he's going to be looking like a bargain.
Yeah,
I think say now, but that's kind of
Yeah, well, I think that's part of their calculation. Obviously, they're looking into that.
They take that into account, definitely.
Yeah, and then kind of looking through the numbers here. So then we had. And a clear spot for Yamamoto. They moved Brian Hudson, that tall, 6'8" guy, which I kind of liked him. I'd have rather have. I'm not a big fan of some of those other lefties in our bullpen right now. I'd have rather kept the high upside, but The Justin Chambers might be interesting. It's a wild card. Probably turns into nothing, but you just never know, and that's what they do.
Right.
And then they made
Maybe, but if he does stick, then he's probably pretty good.
yeah.
Just what happens. It's kind of the risk reward assessment, I think, for Dodgers front office.
Yeah. Well, and then they made the it was announced that Teoscar Hernandez was signing for 1 year, which when I heard 3 or 4 years, I'm going, that's stupid. But it's 1 year? I don't care.
Not a lot of investment. Yeah, it's 1 year.
And he's not blocking anybody.
Right. And I mean, again, the outfield, I mean, I think they did a average of the outfield exit velos for the arm. It's like 98, 99, like 97.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Man.
It's just no one's really going to be running a third too often.
Yeah.
Plus, he brings power. It's kind of a low risk.
Yeah. Well, and then when they, had to clear roster spots, they've traded, depending on your list, number 1, number 2 prospect Michael Busch, and then Yancy Almonte for Jackson Ferris and Zaire.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, they got Jackson Ferris, a lefty, and then Zaire Hope.
Yeah.
Who is they're
Toolsy.
Yeah, Ferris was taken in 22.
And he's getting first round money. He was second rounder, but he has.
Yeah.
They said he could be he could be the top lefty, maybe in the years, like in the minors. He has, obviously, with the Dodgers player development, he's already mid-90s, straight out of high school, I think, right?
Yep, curveball is pretty insane.
Yeah, he's already mid-90s. He already has what I think he was single A. I think he was pretty aggressive. He had walks are. He looks a lot like Maddox. Is it
Bruns? Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of that. Even his delivery. But I think it's another high upside lefty. It was really bittersweet for me to see Michael Busch go, but
I know
I would have been more sad if he was repeating AAA.
That would have been the worst. I know.
He had nothing left to prove his first year. Then he came back and just dominated. It's like, no, come on. He needs a chance. And what better way than restock get a high end pitcher. Yeah. He should have been a first rounder. He got first round money in the second round. Well, and then Hope is basically it's very. I mean, I think he has 80 speed. Yeah. Looks like he has a lot of pop in there. I mean, he's like he's a project. I mean, he wasn't. I think he did pretty good, but he was obviously in the lower minors.
Right. He was in with the Arizona. The Arizona, what's the Arizona Cactus League or whatever they have?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was in. But he should be at Rancho.
Right, and you have the best probably teacher or developers in the game. So why not? Yeah.
So I mean, that's one heck of an off season, and they may not be done. And then we still have.
I wouldn't put it past them to maybe shore up maybe another. I don't know. There's always there's Clayton Kershaw. I mean, there's more to come.
Yeah, I mean, I still expect them to sign Clayton. I think that happens.
I don't see Clayton going 16 years and then all of a sudden just switching teams at the end. It just doesn't. I don't know. At that point, he probably should have switched, a few years ago.
Yeah, it would be really weird to see. Obviously, I mean, and
it was good. I mean, if anything, I think the Dodgers would be the team to sign him because I think the Dodgers are okay paying him $17 million to pitch half a season.
Yeah,
they would want him to,
right.
Or they can value half a season, and he was very productive when he was out there when he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get half a season, really. And I don't think any other team maybe would be give so much leeway or so much rope. I don't know, maybe, but it is Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, I mean, it's either the Rangers or the Dodgers. It doesn't sound like he's retiring, or he probably wouldn't have that shoulder surgery.
Right.
Yeah, it's just I can't imagine him pitching in another uniform. But if he decides to, that's his call, man.
Yeah, it's his prerogative. It's just it would just seem kind of weird, I think there is a special, kind of, I don't know, accolade for pitching your whole career with one team or just playing your whole career with one. And usually, the best players kind of do that. It'd
be awesome.
Yeah,
so. I'd value it. I value it. I mean, I remember Tony Gwynn had a chance to sign a bigger contract with Cleveland for like his last year. And I think he made the right call. You go in as a Padre despite the ugly uniforms and all that stuff.
I mean, you sucked
But
it
yeah.
up for that many years. I mean, what's another year, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Or wasn't it Jackie Robinson? He got traded to the Giants and retired instead of playing.
Well, wouldn't you?
Right. I mean, it's like
he had a good off the field option, and so it's like, I mean, that guy went through so much. I mean, that dude, he looked like an old man when he retired.
Well, I mean, yeah, what he had to endure was kind of
There's a lot.
Do that.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, do you have any? So, looking forward now. Now we've kind of looked past or the last 2.5 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you see them? Do you see any wants that you have or something like that you go, hey, let's get something like this or something like that? I mean, what are you looking for?
I think they would have to just shore up a utility. I mean, yes and no. I guess they'd have. I mean, maybe I wouldn't mind them bringing back Miguel Rojas, just because if they do start, I mean, what Lux is going to start.
I mean, Rojas is signed.
Oh, did he?
No. He re-upped last. He signed an extension last year, so he's set.
Oh, with us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, I mean, at this point, you can always have a few more bullpen pieces, I guess, or just maybe prospects, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I think they do also get maybe another rotation piece, just because we're Walker Buehler is going to be a quarter of a season in before he starts or.
Yeah, he sounds like he's starting out with the Dodgers. So I mean, if you look at the rotation, you got Yamamoto and Glasnow.
Yeah.
Then you've got Miller. Yeah. Emmett Sheehan, and then it looks like Ryan Yarbrough.
Yeah, I think they had one more person.
Yeah. So you got Stone, the Kyle Hertz, Landon Knox, Frasso, yeah. The right-handers, the right-handed prospects.
Yeah. But I think like to start off the season as it is now. Well, Miller's pretty stylish, but the end 4 and 5 is kind of Emmett. I don't know how Sheehan's gonna. Obviously he's probably gonna be better than last year, but I don't know what you're gonna get from him.
Right.
I don't know I think the Dodgers pick up one more, maybe like a Yarborough where he's kind of solid 4 or 5, maybe not break the bank, but who knows? I mean, they might just sign or trade for something crazy. I mean, I would not. I mean, at this point, would you be surprised?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things is, trading Michael Busch hurt in some ways because also it's like, oh, wasn't that like a weapon to use if you needed to make a trade at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
But they have plenty.
There's so many pieces, especially
so overloaded.
Starting pitchers. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just think they would add maybe one guy, maybe like somebody on the back. I don't know, like they did with like Tyler Anderson, but maybe they find somebody who could just eat it. Maybe not at that level, but if he gives them like 3.5, someone solid, until Buehler comes through, until maybe Frasso pushes or.
That's right, because Tyler Anderson was signed. Spring training had already started,
and people are like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
him and Haney is like, "Oh my God, Dodgers! They're giving up the season."
Yeah, those are both just it's like
bogus. They're bogus signings, and then
okay.
Why can't we resign them long term? Both like, okay.
Yeah, well, they go to the prior lab.
Yeah. That's what happens. Yeah,
they do. They get fixed, but then like Anderson goes to the Angels and sucks again. Heaney was fine over in Texas.
I really wanted to. I wanted them to get Anderson back at the trade deadline, but
I know.
No, Artie Moreno is just not going to block any trade. But
he's such an idiot.
He had like a 5 ERA. He'd been perfect, but
yeah, because the Angels probably would have had to give us money too.
Wouldn't give it back.
Yeah. I know.
And now I think even less.
Well, he also cost the Angels their first round pick.
I don't know. That is a polar opposite, I think, of what's going on in LA. I guess the other LA team.
Whatever, yeah.
That's rough to be an Angel fan at this point.
It is, man.
It's pretty rough to be Mike Trout, but I think he keeps resigning extensions. I mean,
He made the choice. Yeah,
He made the choice a few times, so it is what it is.
You know,
And they talk. They got to talk. I mean, he's got to know it's pretty rough out there, dude.
Yeah,
and it's not looking like it's. I mean, they just depleted their whole farm for guys they cut like 3 weeks later. It's like, yeah, it's rough. I feel bad for them. Like, call your angel friends. They need help.
Yeah, we got Ryan.
Pick up on your friends.
We got Ryan Fala, who our guy, and then there's a guy who does the media stuff at Rancho this last year named Pete Soto. He's an Angel fan too. They're just dying, man.
It's rough.
I mean,
no fault of their own, but just the organization. I mean, it's the way the owner steps in. It's rough.
Yeah, he didn't let guys do their job.
Yeah, or I think he hires people that maybe aren't the best or that are basically yes men. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know how he does it, but it's pitiful because you end up getting what do you get? He gets like a second and a fifth round draft pick or something I don't know. He didn't get much for Shohei, and then and he could have
the package he could have got at the trade deadline. I thought they should have got rid of him the year before, but he just wanted to fill seats. I mean, that's the only. It's the only reason.
Yeah.
There's no way they thought. I mean, there's no way he thought he was going to resign. There's just no way.
Right.
Or you're going to feign like disappointment, like, oh, I can't believe you. Like, come on, you have to know. It's not
well, and even at the end of the contract negotiations, Shohei said he gave the same contract to 4 teams: the Jays, the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Angels. Angels wouldn't even accept and that was with the deferments, and the Angels wouldn't accept it. The other 3 teams did. It's the same contract because he the way he said it, he wanted to win. Yeah. And he picked, the Angels were out. They chose to be out.
We're never going to pay that man like that.
I know. But
I think maybe because he's gone away with it with Mike Trout. I don't know how he's gone away with it, but you ain't.
Well, Trout, he's a great player. Let's straight up.
But I don't think
he's trending down a little bit.
Well, that we're in tear and center.
I know.
Probably should move him. Like, he probably give him a rest. That body. I mean, a decade.
He's big. He's a big boy.
Yeah, but he also doesn't take off much on routes. He's kind of like a football where he's all out. So that's a lot on your body.
It is.
Center field is pretty demanding at the major league level.
Yeah. No, it's too bad that Trout's going to go down with one playoff appearance in his career unless they do something drastic.
There's one hit, right? One hit in the playoffs.
I don't even remember. I just know they played in those 3 games. They lost.
3 games. Yeah, no wins and I think 1 hit.
Yeah, I think it was 1 hit. I think you're right.
Not good. That's not good. That's not good.
Shame, man.
That's really bad for the sport too. Your best player.
Absolutely. Well, that's why people are. MLB had to have been going nuts when Shohei picked the Dodgers. I mean,
he just opened up a huge market, which I think they would have followed Shohei anyway. But
if he goes to the Jays, it's not as big a deal in Japan. It's just not because it's Canada anyway. But
even the market in Toronto is not that big. It is, but it's not compared to LA.
Yeah. It's either LA or New York, right? If you want to.
I think the Dodgers do have maybe sentimental value to the Japanese community. We have Nomo, maybe Saito.
We've had a lot of guys.
So a lot of like Kaz Ishii for all the cards. So I think I think there's a connection definitely, and there's kind of maybe especially I guess Yamamoto. He always wanted to be a Dodger, which that's good for us.
I know.
It helped. I hope.
Now we just got to know what team does Roki Sasaki want to play for. He's next.
I mean, at this point, I would be surprised if he goes anywhere else. Just kind of the way that everything's going with the Dodgers. I mean, knock on wood, but he's the best of the bunch, which is kind of wild, right?
Yeah, and if you look at it, I mean, just going, if you are a baseball player and you have a chance to go to Los Angeles. You maybe you end up taking a lighter contract, but everything that comes with it. Yeah. I mean, first of all, to be on a team with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and plus
And,
Joey
and,
mentioned
and
that,
maybe
right?
and maybe Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah.
4 Hall of Famers.
And this is going to be your. I mean, this has been going on for like I said. Andrew Freeman's put a lineup together for a decade, a roster, which is just second to none, really.
Yeah.
Every year it's gonna, or every year you compete for a World Series.
And they treat their players well. They're always in it. So if you want a chance at postseason glory, I mean, I'm just imagining. Maybe I can't remember who it was. Maybe it's Doug McCain said. He said Teoscar Hernandez is going to be like the NLCS MVP in 2024. What happened? There you go. You went away for a second. I mean, so someone like Teoscar Hernandez with a 1-year contract goes out and stars in the playoffs. Dude's money all of a sudden, maybe with the Dodgers again or with someone else. Right. But I mean,
it's kind of like you said, it's kind of a platform to, get the right information. You have the information available, you can maximize it, and then it can be a platform or springboard for, generational wealth, the next contract. How many people have signed? Even Tyler Anderson, 1-year deal. Now he got 45, 3-year 45, right?
Yeah, so he's loaded now. I mean,
yeah. And he was out of baseball at that point, right? I mean, he was kind of
no one wanted him.
Yeah. The Dodgers, the Dodger Twitter was, who is this guy?
Yeah,
Andrew
exactly.
Saying, what are we doing with this guy?
I know.
So,
yeah,
I agree. I think it's a platform if you're like, you get an honest assessment. And if they sign you, it's probably because you're either undervalued, you have something to offer.
Right.
Sign you if they think you're a barely above WAR player. They're not going to sign you.
Yeah. Oh, someone made a good point here. Unless you're Eduardo Rodriguez. Remember, he turned down the Dodgers at the last minute at the trade deadline?
Well, because he wanted more money, right?
I know, but he lied. He always, my family. Yeah, he wanted he wanted a vested contract. Huh?
Where did he sign?
D-bags.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay.
Hope the Dodgers light him up, man.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I know, and even the Dodgers allegedly were in on him, but he's not a 1 or a 2. He's a nice pitcher that that you'd want on your team.
I could see him being like a 4 or 5, like
which they could use one
rotation. He'd probably be a 4 or 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. He wanted to stay in the weak AL Central that way he could stat pad. It's probably true.
Well, you saw, there were splits between what he did in the AL Central and everyone else, and it wasn't like
it's true.
It was not flattering.
No, absolutely. That's for sure. I mean, the way that a guy, you have a chance, folks. These players have a chance to make a life-changing decision or a career-changing decision. But I can't begrudge someone for wanting to get all they can in terms of money. But, the Dodgers, sometimes it may take that year of going, hey, I need to step back, take a little less, go and prove myself. And then, it's, what do they call it? Betting on yourself.
Yeah, you reset your market value.
Yeah. So it's,
it's usually like higher, not lower. So,
right. It'll be interesting.
And a lot of these pitchers are basically, they're trending in the wrong direction too.
Yeah.
I think the only kind of project that didn't work was Thor, and it was and it's just it wasn't, I think, from a lack of trying. I know that people really don't like him pitching, and he didn't really pitch great in all honesty, but I think it's just his arm was, maybe he just needs to have another Tommy John. It wasn't I don't know. It's just, it's a big difference when you're living 101 and then you're 92. Even 92, it's hard to come. I mean, it's it's hard to live in the MLB now with 92. 92 is like a change up for 92.
Insane. Now. I know. Well, yeah, and some, I think it came out, maybe it was even a mental thing with him. I mean, you go through the Tommy John, and he just can't mentally let it rip. I mean, you've played even more than I did, but I've seen plenty of stuff where the mental part of the game gets you more quicker than the physical.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
both
just
me.
thinking his body. I mean, the tendon that they put. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. It's just not. I think the
Yeah.
Dodgers will be able to extract as much, but he was like 93, like 94, maybe, right?
Yeah, that was about it. With Philly, he got up to like 94, and that was it. And
Yeah.
the Dodgers probably thought they could get more out of him, but it just physically or mentally wasn't going to happen. I don't know who's going to sign him.
Yeah, because even with Cleveland, I mean, he didn't do terribly great, right? I didn't.
They ended up releasing him at the end of the year, before the end of the year.
Yeah.
He didn't even finish. I mean, well, yeah, I think they probably got rid of him after the Angels dumped Giolito and Matt Moore, and the Indians picked their Guardians.
Oh, they got everybody. Yeah, they basically got everybody. The Guardians.
Yeah,
So,
it was just the weirdest.
I've never seen that, but I don't think the Angels. I mean, the Angels is kind of built for now, or I don't know what they were doing. I don't even know what they're built for.
Angels are built for nowhere now because I mean that catcher.
Forget it, huh?
That catcher the Angels gave up for Giolito, he's like top 10 of all MLB minor league catchers. For a guy,
like the Angels couldn't use a catcher.
Yeah,
or like it is what it is.
Well, if at least you're going to trade a really good prospect, you better get something for him than some rental.
I've always said that the best or the worst thing that happens to your organization is management. If you have bad management, you're not going to win. You're just not.
That's true.
You're just not. If you have good management, you're going to be in the hunt as much as possible. I mean, because the front office, and again, I don't know if it's whether it's because of Moreno, he gets people that are just he can kind of control, or it's just not doing it. Tony Regans before that was.
Yeah, but they've gone through good managers and unproven managers that really never got a shot. I mean,
and who knows, right? I mean, who
yeah.
knows if they even got a chance to do their thing, or I don't know. That's just kind of a.
Yeah, now they got Ron Washington. At least he's fun.
But you can only do so much. I mean, there's only so much talent that they get. I mean,
yeah, right.
He doesn't do roster construction.
No, and we're not even sure who does other than Moreno.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't even know what roster. I mean, that's kind of rough out there. So
yeah,
unless we shortened the season because of Rendon.
Oh my gosh, dude,
that was the best
fallen so far
ever.
After 2019, he was one of the best players in baseball, one of the most respected players in baseball. I wanted that dude, man.
Thank God.
Man. All over it.
Thank God he's not Hollywood though, right?
Yeah, that was just silly. I mean, there's not a more boring group of players than the guys in the Dodgers. Yeah, they're boring.
They're nice.
They just go and hang out with their families, and I think that's a good thing. But it's not. He was just being silly. He just at the end of the day, it was more money. Just admit it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but
it's almost
that contract is one of the. That's pretty that's a legendary contract. What he signed with the output and it's been rough.
Yeah, the Angels got nothing for it. I mean,
literally, absolutely nothing out of that.
And the thing is, when they made that move, they did not need to make. That was not what they needed. They needed pitching.
They've always needed pitching. Yeah. And of course, so then they got a third baseman. It's all right, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Time check. We good?
Yeah.
Cool.
So far, yeah.
All right. Why don't we go about 10 more?
Yeah, sounds good. Probably switching to the Dodgers more so, right?
Yeah. Enough of the. Okay, Angels, rest in peace.
All right. For a while too.
Yeah, it's gonna be for a while. All right.
You can't beat it.
Yeah. Let's see. So, coming into spring training, they don't really have. There's not a lot of battles to have. You mentioned the rotation. I would say left-hander reliever, but there's not a lot of competition there.
Who do we even? I mean, what we got? Ferguson.
Wait, time out. We got a super chat. Nice. Right field pavilion coming at me strong. Let's see what they had to say. Hey, Tim and Alex, Will Smith will become a free agent in 2026. This is big. Do you see him being signed to an extension, or will the Dodgers move forward and focus on Cartaya or rushing? I'm gonna let you go for it first.
I think they play year by year and they assess. I mean, they always stack the catcher position, and I think obviously because it's the most premium position. So I think they take it year. I mean, they've taken it year to year, right? I mean, they could have signed him. I mean, his what's it called? His production is obviously second to none. Maybe historically, I know catchers don't last too long, so maybe it's a bet. That maybe his body does better. I don't know. I think they do year to year. I think they assess it. What's on the farm in 2026 at the end of the year. Because I think the Dodgers rather do that than sign an extension. It just kind of seems how that their MO. They rather overpay for if you're actually going to produce.
Yeah.
And kind of roll the dice to see if you're going to be healthier. And catchers, catchers another thing. You get concussion, you might be, you're not the same. I mean, it's rough. It's rough.
And he did have one.
Yeah, but I've seen people have concussions and maybe they're not ever the same again. It's like it's kind of a position it's hard to bet long term on. And I mean, I'm assuming the Dodgers think that. I'm sure they're super high on Will Smith. I mean, there's nothing not. I mean, he's done literally everything you could ask for in a catcher. So,
right.
But I do think they stack the catcher spot for kind of. Well, who knows? You also have to see what the budget looks like or the payroll looks like in 2026. Miller might. I think they play year by year though.
I just did a quick check. So he plays it. He turns 29 and soon. So 29 and 30. So he becomes a free agent at the age of 31. I mean, whoo. I mean, that's catchers.
And for catcher, yeah.
I mean, geez. Yeah. I mean, I actually spoke. I was on Doug's show a couple days ago, and he kind of had the same take as you did, year to year, and then it's risky. I'd like to keep, and it's more of a sentimental thing of just I want to keep guys that are Dodgers. We lost Seager. That is what it is. Yeah. Some good takes in here. Some Hepatitis C later thinks Rushing will be a future first baseman. Tell you, my hot take on Don Rushing, third base. They should try him at third base. He's got a really good arm, and he's built like a third baseman.
I'm sure they're going to play him there. Well, one thing I will say, though, is I think the Dodgers, the benefit of having this front office that they know who to keep. I mean, if you ask any of us, I mean, when Will Smith, because there was another catcher, I think, at the time.
Keibert Ruiz.
And if anyone asks who you're going to keep, and I think no one says Smith. And Smith is turned out to be the second best, catcher, him and Real Multi, you can say whatever. But
if you were to go through my Twitter history from way back when, I always said that Ruiz would be best. Now he's still be. Ruiz is still in like 24, but Smith has exceeded, I think, all of our expectations.
I think Smith is best case scenario for Cartaya and Rushing or any catcher is going to be Smith. I mean, get 25 year in year, what is almost like 360, 380, 880, 900. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's 98 and up percent or whatever. It's like, so I think but I think the Dodgers know. That's why they stack cat. It could be our friend Fernandez. It could be, is it Galiz? I mean, it could be. We don't there's so many catching top end prospects that they're good, but they're gonna know. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Lorenzo had just an amazing year. Last season.
Out of nowhere.
And then Galiz is so underrated. He's not even on any top 30 lists right now, but
Fernandez is so underrated.
Excellent defense, and he really came along. And I keep saying this on the show, but I didn't realize that last year at Rancho, I thought he was like 22 or something like that. Dude was 19.
Yes, same thing with Wiener.
Yeah, they're so young, but they carry themselves so well.
And I think it's just it's a compliment to the Dodgers system. You just get Kind of like what's it called? The second baseman got traded for Sweeney. It's just like you just get there's so many prospects. It's not that you're not performing. You just kind of there's only so much attention you can bring to prospects. You're gonna have sleepers that are just performing and just they're good though. They're good. They can perform with players. So
yeah, it's quite a an art that they do, and only they know who the top guys are. You can have these prospect lists; they mean nothing to the Dodgers. I mean, in my opinion,
they have the stats. They have
Yeah, I think one of the guys that they clearly value is Josue DePaula. He got brought up and he's batting second right away. At Rancho, so they value that. And then I think we'll see Yoendry Vargas, and I think Maddox Bruns. I think they love him. His stuff is so nasty; it's just command.
So and he's improved though. He took a big step last year, and I think they know who to keep. They know who to trade.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do trade players they want to keep. It's for a good reason, or they're doing it. They're not. It's not a Paul Shuey trade, or it's not a. They're going to get something back.
Right. And I think if you look at it, I mean, you're right. If you see now, no one's off limits. So if they had a chance to trade for Ohtani a year and a half ago,
right,
everyone was on the table. Or even Juan Soto in 2022. Everyone was on the table. It was just a matter of now the Padres, of course, went all in on that one. Good job, Padres. Thank you. But they'd do it if it was the right guy to get them over the hump. I mean, when they traded for Scherzer and Trey Turner, it was Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray who were their number 1 and number 2 guys.
Yeah.
And remember, Josiah
got Scherzer back, and they got a year. They got a year and a half of Turner. So it was for high-end talent. It wasn't for or something.
And when they made that trade, at that point, the Dodgers were easily the best team in baseball on paper. It's just they just got hurt like crazy during the postseason.
I don't think Scherzer, playoff-wise, I don't think he was what the Dodgers thought they might have got.
Yeah, they just didn't. Using him as a closer in that game hurt because he's what 36, 37.
He was off. I mean, he had dead armor. I mean,
yeah. It piled on.
Anyone would have expected that.
Yeah,
for sure. So
I know, but that's just part of dealing with older arms like that. The funny thing is, I think when Yamamoto's contract expires, he'll probably still be younger than when the Dodgers got Max Scherzer.
Yeah. We also didn't give him a 3-year, $120 million contract after that.
Oh man, hey, dude did get another ring though. And the Mets paid a lot of that with the Rangers.
Right, that's right. He didn't even pitch, right? Or
he did. He got one start in the World Series. Won about 2-3 innings.
Okay.
Yeah, they got all they could out of him, and now he's hurt again. But that's what happens when you're getting older.
And that's just pitching. I mean, pitching is predictable.
I mean, the dude was rock solid for how long? For years.
Yeah, when we got him from like the Nationals, it was like he's a big game pitcher, playoff stud. It's just
he ran out of gas, man.
It's pitching. Yeah, you don't know. There's so many variables.
Yeah. Well, just the number of Tommy Johns that's happened over the last few years with the Dodgers, with key guys, Dustin May, Walker Buehler, Tony Gonsolin, just right off the top of my head. I mean, geez.
That's literally a rotation. An all-star rotation.
Hey, that's 3/5 of the rotation that they ended 2020 with.
Dustin May would have easily been an all-star if he got to midseason.
Yep. Yeah, but those are 3 really good pitchers.
Well, did he start? Kershaw, I'm sorry. I mean, but he was at that point the best pitcher. No.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler's Walker Buehler, so I mean that's
yeah. Walker Buehler's the man if he's healthy, that's for sure. But I think we need to start ending this because I actually have to go into the office tomorrow. Ugh.
Only an hour, yeah, for sure.
I know. Well, cool. I appreciate you getting on here again, man.
Right, man. Anytime.
let me know when you get back from your whatever, wherever you're going to be. And then we'll get back at it. We got a lot to cover as things get closer. I still need to finish my prospect positional overviews. I got through 4 of the positions. I still got
let me know.
4 more non-pitching positions to go through.
Definitely.
So we'll have to take a look at that, and then yeah, man. You got any last words for the chat out here?
I just you guys, thanks for checking in. We're spoiled. We should probably acknowledge that, and just enjoy it. That's a lot of talent.
Do you see the chat? Do you see the chat from your screen?
I don't, but I also don't know. Oh, now I do. You press comment instead of private chat.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That makes it a lot easier, right? Then we're both seeing it.
Yeah, actually, I can follow along now. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it's the chat is one of my favorite parts of this doing these live things, because they provide like half the content, right? Chat.
It would also, it'd probably be a little easier if I was following along. So apologize, guys.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I'm just glad you were able to see it. So that's good. We'll note that for next time.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's this is my first day using this StreamYard stuff. So I did it earlier with Trinidad, and now seems to be working pretty decent today. So that's good.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Well,
cool. Yeah. Well, go ahead if you want to go real quick through the chat. If you see anything you want to chat at, then we'll head out. But yeah, a lot of chat today.
I like the angels all over the top of that word. I like that.
Well, yeah, sometimes they're gonna make you laugh at the wrong time.
Stop picking on the angels.
That's happened a few times to me.
Simpson meme and it's dead already.
they'll just bring you
That's bad.
They'll bring
angel friends out there.
Hey, it got really interesting during the whole Ohtani stuff, because I did it Friday night after the whole Toronto day.
Oh, did you?
Oh man, it was insane. It was.
Oh, that was peak madness.
No, it blew this channel up to put me at a different level. It blew us all up, to be honest with you, which is great. But yeah, the chat was great. We had people writing in kanji, and then we had some Toronto people in there and stuff, and it was pretty cool.
Poor Toronto.
I know. I feel bad for them. I do. Fun. At least let them get Bellinger or something like that. I don't know. Belly should be a Cub. All right, man. All right. Well, that is it for no habla inglés, my man. That's it for now. Any last words for the crowd? One more time.
I just appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night, and we'll check in pretty soon.
All right. And that's it for now. That's our second show of the night, or at least my second show of the night. So appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody. As always, Craig Osterberg, hello. As always, thank you. God bless, and go Dodgers.
There you go. Bye, guys.